All right, first off, why don't you guys just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got into the AI space. And we'll start with Roan, then Camila, and then Enrique.
Hello everyone, good morning, and thank you everyone for being here this Sunday morning. I know the day is very pretty outside. We have been a couple weeks of raining. So for you all being here today is very nice because I understand that you guys want to learn, you guys want to take this step forward. So I want to say thank you for you all to be here. My name is Roan. I'm a developer relations at a company called Rocket Ride, former Aparavi, and I work with data and communities. So I build communities, I talk with developers, and do a lot of things related to AI. Also, I host a podcast with generative AI with the best tools in the market. I already interviewed Enrique a couple of months ago. So yeah, I'm excited to share some thoughts with you today.
He's also an influencer, a social media influencer.
Hola, hi everyone. My name is Camila, originally from Argentina. So happy to be here with you today. Plus one to what Roan was saying. Felicidades, because you choose to invest in yourself and your development on a Sunday. That's a pretty bold step. So congratulations to you all. I started my journey in the AI ecosystem 9 years ago when I was selected as an intern for Google when I was finishing my career, my university career. I was down in Buenos Aires, where I'm from, and I was lucky enough to get a spot in that group of interns in 2017. At the time, we didn't really speak about AI, but it was my journey with Google that started. That journey and my growth in my career brought me to the US 3 years ago, where we were already talking about AI 3 years ago. And I started to learn out of curiosity and out of just my self-learning experimentation, because I wanted to understand how AI was going to impact communication. That is the field that I'm most familiar with. I'm a journalist, so that's why I wanted to learn how AI was going to transform the way that we communicate with each other. And 8 months ago, I took a new role at Google where I do a lot of AI content creation, and the demo that we are going to see today is about video creation. So super excited to be here with you all. And I also do content creation just because everyone does content creation, right?
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Anthony, for having me, and thank you, Carnival, for hosting. Thank you all for coming and being willing to learn. My name is Enrique Lopez. I work for a company called Freepik. We are an AI suite where we host the best AI models from Google and other companies for creatives to have access to the best tools in the market for marketing, content creation, video generation, image generation. My background is in education and research, and I joined the company as a researcher and slowly transitioned into the lead of AI, in the lead of community. In San Francisco, we're a Spanish company, and our efforts in San Francisco have been to grow through community, connection, and human-centered creativity. And I'm very privileged to be here today sharing some of my experiences in the industry. Hopefully you find them helpful and interesting.
Rowan, how did you get started in the industry?
That's a very good question. Just I forgot to say I'm from Brazil. So I started my tech career in 2013 when I started to do a bachelor degree in software engineering. At the same time, I was working as a full-time software engineer because we can study in the evenings and work through the day. So it was like very long days for 4 or 5 years. And then after I graduated, I moved to video production, so I pivoted 100%. I have zero background on video production and I would say zero academic background on video production. Everything that I learned, I always say I learned on YouTube University because they have all the tutorials there. From there, I just grow the company, and from when I started until today, I have over 1,500 videos produced all over the globe, a lot of in Brazil and in here as well. And once I moved in 2021 to do my master's degree in San Francisco, I realized that I could put it together, my software engineering background and my tech background with just those new AI models, video models. Since I have a lot of experience on data, I focus very technically on the use of data and multimodal, so video, photos, images into data pipelines. So that's what I've been working last few years. And right now, I'm doing a lot of content, a lot of things related to how we can integrate video production using AI into real world applications.
Voila.
He also has 2 video production companies. In addition to working full-time, in addition to being an influencer, he has a production company in Brazil and one here in the United States. So if you need videos, hit up Roan. All right, we're going to pivot, and I want to ask everybody on the panel, why do you guys think it's important for all communities to learn about AI? And we can start off with Enrique.
So holding the mic. Why is it important? I feel like we hear this a lot in the industry, that AI is here to stay and it's not going to go anywhere. It's only going to get better. It's moving super fast. I'm sure it's hard for us who are working in the industry to even be caught up with what's new, and we see it every day. So it's obvious that the community is also lagging behind as we are. And there is so much potential. There is so much power. There is a lot of things that we thought were very hard, or very expensive, or inaccessible to do. And AI is opening a lot of those doors. It comes with a lot of risks, and it comes with a lot of friction on the adoption and integration of these tools, because they're still trying to understand them and understand the impact that they're having on us as social beings, and interacting with something so powerful. So I think what's important to understand is that we need to create spaces to learn about using these tools responsibly and ethically, acknowledging the risks that they're coming with, and engaging in those conversations, and understanding how they're impacting the users, for us to take action and adapt accordingly to that feedback that we're getting, and understand how to deliver in a better way, in a way that is democratizing the technology. I feel very conflicted with using the word democratizing with AI, but it's a good idea of just giving access to the community, with responsibility always in mind. And that's what I do at Freepik, leading community, trying to have those conversations and making sure that us as a company are aware of these dynamics that are happening, and take action behind that.
I think we are in the middle of the revolution, as we saw many revolutions in history of humanity. Industrial revolution, then we have the internet coming, and now we are in the middle of this AI storm, I will call it. I think we haven't just realized how this is going to transform the way that we work, we connect with people, we communicate with each other. And I love the word democratizing, because I feel for our community particularly, we always feel like we need to have the perfect resources to do things sometimes. And AI, what it does is unlock the potential of the skill sets that you already have. For me and my journey, I knew I was a creative person. I always knew I was a creative person. And what AI is doing, it's helping me to be more and more creative and more polished in my creativity, and have the ability and the capacity to create more and more with my own ideas. So what I feel like for our community particularly, what I love is like, we don't need a production team, as you said at the beginning, anymore. We don't need actors. We don't need like a full agency helping us if we want to produce a video. We can learn how to do things and do things our own. And for me, that is empowering. That it's basically have the power in my own hands to create whatever I want to create. So I feel like it's just a matter of sit down, play around, experiment a lot, and understand how these tools are working for you and not the other way around.
Yeah, I echo everything that you guys are saying. And one of the things that I always ask on my podcast is, what is your vision? What is your take on democratization of AI? And that's a question I asked for over 25 people that went there. And I see this common answer coming all the time. AI comes here to stay. AI come here to give you that extra hand that you need to reduce the times that you do things manually, research, writing drafts, because by the end of the day, we need to be the human in the loop to give the right informations and to be able to consume that and dissect that information. The AI by itself, it's soulless. I always, when I go talk about video production in AI, you see the best models out there, the best realistic scenes, but if you don't put the soul behind this, behind it, the scene doesn't make any sense. So we need to be the human in the loop. One thing that I'm very concerned about is how is going to be the education on AI in the next few years. Because right now we have everything super accessible on our phones. You can ask any question, you can have the answer. But how this is going to reflect for the next generation that's coming up soon? How they're going to be able to consume that content? And that's the job for us, because they're not going to have the knowledge that we have. We went to school and learned things by reading the book. They always have everything so accessible on their phones right now. So how we can protect and prevent the next generation of people, how they're going to learn things in the future. So that's one concern that I have doing some research about.
Yeah, and just to echo the democratization of this, I mean, if you think about it, excuse me, there's going to be a whole new model of distribution. I mean, there are going to be people from rural parts of different parts of the globe, from Latin America, from Asia, from Africa, and anybody that has a laptop and access to the internet and compute power, they're going to be able to tell their stories. And so it's going to be really interesting, and it really is a technology that that can democratize how we do things. So I really do think that it's important that there is AI literacy for everybody, because I think everybody should learn about AI, not just for their own, learnings, but also from a policy perspective. Because if you don't know what the technology is doing, you can't talk to legislators and policymakers about guardrails, about what you think should be done or should not be done. So I think it's going to democratize, but I do think everybody should at least have a baseline of this technology. All right, another question. This is kind of open-ended, but what is one thing about this technology that you would like the audience to know about? And it could be anything.
Well, again, I use it a lot for creative stuff. I love to say that when I started to learn how to create content with AI, I became a child again. I started to. We are in the Bay Area, right? Everything that we do is measured. We have metrics, we have OKRs, we have our KPIs, yes. I was in front of my computer and I was a child again. I was playing. I was just like experimenting with no pressure of doing things that need to be perfect all the time. And that is so eye-opening. I feel these tools give you the power to create things that are here in your mind already. And for me, those months where I was like self-taught in myself was a very safe space where I can go and just like animate a picture of me when I was 3 years old, create a card for my mom's birthday party, things that were not business relevant. And that gave me the power to approach the tools with an open mind and laugh about the hallucinations and laugh about how scrappy I was prompting, laugh about because I was prompting half in Spanish and half in English because I had no idea how to say in English the idea that I had in my mind. And that was okay. And for me, that working in big tech in the Bay Area and always having that pressure of like shipping, go above and beyond and be always like on top of the game, having that space of just play, enjoy was a very nice process. So my challenge for you today during this day, through the day, and during the challenge that you're going to have in the evening is that you can give you the possibility to play and to enjoy and to laugh about yourself. Because wherever you do here is a safe space. The risk is zero. You're not selling anything. You don't need to earn money with the project that you build today necessarily. Just go back to those roots and enjoy the process of having a new tool that can help you to create new things.
Totally agree. I think there's a
Sorry.
just slowly
Yeah,
you're
no,
gonna
sorry.
turn that way. Yeah. I think being in the industry and seeing the type of stories that people are telling and having that platform and to make their vision and their ideas and their stories come to life, it's a beautiful thing. On Thursday we had an event at the office. Anthony and Roan were there, and we were talking about the idea of creative struggle and how important that needs to remain at the center of content that is being created to tell a story, and how there is this conception that AI is making everything very easy to generate, and you just click a few buttons and then you have like a whole marketing campaign ready to go. But also during the panel we were talking about the idea of struggling to create something that is representative of your spirit, of your ideas, of your visions, and how AI might be taking us into a way of less struggle, but how that should remain at the center of your creations. You should be feeling like you're taking risks. You should be feeling like you're learning. You should be feeling like you're struggling, because this is a massive shift that we're living through. And if you're able to have fun and experiment and find the beauty and the excitement within it, I think that really changes the approach and your vision for what AI is doing to the world.
Yeah, I have some points to add. For me to have a lot of experience using different LLMs, I'm going to give some practical advice right now. But before I go to the practical advices, I want to just share a little bit the things that I have been experienced lately. So I'm like, sometimes if I'm working, I work for 10, 12 hours non-stop in front of the computer. So I have multiple screens, multiple things going on. And I use different LLMs for different applications. So one thing and then I use voice to text to talk to the LLMs. And then it's very fast for me to keep doing a lot of things at the same time, and gives crazy productivity. But one things that I noticed is, that happened with me. Someone told me I was about to do a press release of something that I built, and they're like, "Oh, you cannot use AI to answer those questions." And I stay almost 30 minutes, 40 minutes, writing things, typing things. I was like, I'm not used to doing this. I've been not typing anything from scratch for a while. So that's the first thing. You need to be careful, because you're gonna become over reliable on those tools. The second thing is never trust the answer. Always have the critical thinking. ChatGPT, it's horrible to give concrete answers. Perplexity is very good, but you always need to take a look at it and really double check things. Click the link, open, read the full spectrum, because I'm working on a Series A company, and I'm making some multi-million dollars decisions with the CEO, and my decision needs to be based on data and where I go, and go to Perplexity. So if I don't truly go there, check the references, read everything, and just trust whatever the LLM is telling me to tell my superior, and then I go there, just pass information without do this cross-reference, this can be a problem, because then later I can double check again, and it's oh, that's actually not true. So we need to be very careful of overconfidence on it. So overall, the tools I have been using most is ChatGPT to write things. So write post, write script, anything that's writing related. I love to use ChatGPT, and also kind of remembers my entire background. So sometimes I need to answer a form. It's reply based on what you know about me, and it knows about me. So then already pre-fill the form. So I use a lot of ChatGPT to writing things. For perplexities research, so when I need to do research, deep research, I work a lot of articles, so I use a lot of perplexity to get those articles and read through and do a more academic work. I use Grok when I need to think outside the box. It's like, what is like something crazy that I need to do, and I need to be extremely creative, and I need to come up with a new name for this this new application. I need to come up with something extremely outside the box. Grok, it's very aggressive, but it's good. It works. And yeah, Gemini,
Yeah.
no, I don't use. I use for image generation and video
Well.
generation. Yeah.
Thank you. And just to kind of echo what everybody's saying is to have fun today. Just an example of how people have fun. You know, I knew nothing about AI until, you know, when they released ChatGPT, I was like, oh my God, I better learn this stuff. And I took a deep dive into AI, and I taught myself, and I used AI to teach me. I went to boot camps, blah, blah, blah. But I taught myself so much that I was able to convince a junior college to teach an Intro to AI course. And at that Intro to AI course, it was a night course for Kenyatta College, there was one young lady who I was teaching. She was Latina. She didn't speak English that well, so she created her presentation in Spanish, fed it to ChatGPT, translated it into English, created a digital avatar of herself, and the digital avatar presented. And that was just her, you know, having fun. So again, have fun today, and we will have fun today. I'm going to now, unless you guys have anything else you want to share with the audience, kind of a Q&A session. You guys, okay. So does anybody from the audience have any questions for the panelist?
Yeah, I started with things that were meaningless, as I mentioned. I was like, what's the harm of animating a picture of me when I was 3 years old? That's it. Like, fear, I think we break fear when we act. Most of the fears that we have for like life in general, not only AI, is just because we overthink things and we don't act on that. How we overcome fear is you open your laptop, you go to ChatGPT and you start asking questions. You open Freepik and you explore the models that they have for video generation, and you do a video for your birthday party. You start doing, and then I love this idea of like feeling comfortable to be the dumbest in the room. Like, you cannot become an expert if you don't embrace the feeling of being dumb at some point. Like, I was in college 10 years ago, and we didn't know what AI was. Nothing that I learned in university was helpful for when I opened that computer that day and I started to experiment. Like, we are all learning. Even when you go to those events and you have this beautiful panel of professionals where we are all learning every single week. I was talking to Enrique before. Every time that I feel I'm a master, Google decided to launch a new tool. And I'm like, here we go again. They launched a new tool this very week of music creation. And I was like, well, now I need to spend my Friday helping, like playing around with this tool. Like, we are all learning at the same time, not because we are here and you're there, or we are in this event and that. It's the same for everyone. So I think we break the fear just acting and experimenting.
Yeah, same answer. I think at the beginning I felt very much as an imposter working in AI. I'm just like, what? I come from academia. I was just like teaching a class in sociology, and now I'm like doing an event about AI. Like, what am I doing here? But then I realized that everyone is learning every day, and everyone is, even though I've been in the company for 2 years now, and every day, every week, I'm learning a new tool. I'm really unlearning other tools that are old. So when I realized that everyone is kind of just making up new positions, making up new workflows, making up new ways of creation, I was just like, I don't have to take myself so seriously. Like, we're all learning at the same pace in different degrees, of course. But this is new to everyone, and there is no guidebook because it's so new. So we're all coming up with new strategies and new ways of creating.
Well, I just want to, I mean, the fact that you guys are here really demonstrates that you guys want to learn. And, you know, like everybody's saying, we're all learning together. Everything is so new right now. You guys are early adopters. And, you know, my background, I'm from the Sunnydale area of San Francisco, and low-income area. Went to San Francisco State. So I didn't go to Harvard, I didn't go to Berkeley, I didn't go to Stanford, and I just had fun with the tools and taught myself. And so I think, don't be critical of yourself. And if I could do it, you guys could do it. It's really just really taking advantage of this time right now. And there's so many different communities out there right now where it's free, where you could go to these events. And everybody in the community, they're just so open right now. And you guys might want to start your own little AI and, you know, your own little AI community so that you guys can learn together. So talk to me and we can start that community. Any other questions? Oh, yes.
This is something that I deal with a lot at Freepik and having these conversations, because we are a creative company and we're a platform that wants to help creatives get their ideas, and for those ideas to stay your ideas and not anyone else's. So what we do at our company is we host different models that maybe if you're using that model outside of Freepik, the data that you're inputting and the data that is being outputted with your imagination, your creativity, are not going to be used to train any of the models that we have. So there's some tools that are taking steps like Freepik that are able to protect that intellectual property. Right now there's a big shift in the industry. There's a model, a Chinese model called Dance 2.0 that came out last week. And the way that they announced their new model was using IP characters. They use Tom Cruise and Leonardo DiCaprio, two major Hollywood stars, and they were just fighting on a rooftop. And it's like after the Union of Actors from Hollywood released a statement, and a lot of different communities are releasing a statement of like, this is wrong. We should not be promoting new models using the images of famous people without their approval. So that's starting a new conversation of like, okay, what are we doing with models? There's another company from, I think Russia or Hicksfield, that is also into some deep water because they're also not being very respectful of IP and characters. So the industry is shifting. I think it's tricky right now because politically AI is being pushed in many ways, and very, very little regulation is being implemented by the government of the US. Other countries are taking steps. Japan is being more intentional about how they're putting guardrails. But because the US is just like innovation as fast as we can, there is very little guardrails. But that's gonna change because a lot of powerful people in Hollywood and media entertainment are gonna be stepping in and start to set up the pace. So I trust that with community feedback and listening and paying attention to the statements that like SAG-AFTRA and unions are gonna be guiding that conversation, that more intentional and more ways of talking about this is gonna come up in hopefully in this year.
I think something that we all as artists have the responsibility to do is what we were doing even before AI, that is reading those contracts. Now the contracts are the terms and conditions of these models. In the past, if you're a musician, you will never sign a contract without reading it and giving your copyrights or ideas to the agency that is representing you. You want to protect your intellectual property, right? Same. Read those terms and conditions. Investigate about the companies behind these models even before you put any information of them. Make sure that you understand the permissions that you are giving to these models, to your own emails, calendar, personal information. Protect yourself as you were doing even before as an artist. I think we need to keep doing that until we have the proper regulation in place.
Yeah, and I know with ChatGPT, with regards to putting in text prompts, there's a way to not feed the text into the model. So there's a setting that you can actually turn off so that it doesn't feed the model. So I do that, and and this industry is changing so quickly, and we're trying to figure out policy right now. So I encourage everybody to learn about it, to reach out. There are organizations that are really trying to create these guardrails. So what I tell people is to get involved with these organizations that are really trying to create guardrails for privacy, for data, for security, and for all of that. And if you want to know about these organizations, you can reach out to me, and I will direct you to those organizations.
Yeah, and and do not put any sensitive information on the prompt, never. It's a black box. You don't know where this information is going. On the data pipelines that I have been building for companies and enterprise, we do a lot of PII reduction. So we mask the personable and identifiable information for documents. So we have a lot of companies with a lot of data. Data, it's a gold mine for strategic decisions, but all those data comes with PII. And how are we going to be able to do that? So there's automated process that you can do to get all that data, mask the sensitive information, and use that as a context for your applications to give insights for your tools, for strategic decisions. That's like for enterprise level, but for level as a person using the tool, just the fact that you don't upload your passport copy there or social security number on the text format, that's a very good way to protect yourself, to avoid anything that could happen in the future. Again, like you were saying, everything's very new. There's still they're putting guardrails right now. There's other ways that Anthony has shared of how you can protect, but what is in your control, which is don't put information, ask a question without giving that information. You're gonna get the answer anyways. It's not. But there's steps you can do to prevent that. There's tools out there that you can, before you feed that information, you can mask that information. That was what I was explaining. So we can, that's a good thing they brought it up, because that's not only your problem. There's most of the companies that want to use AI face with this problem, with the classifications and PI reduction or masking of the personable and identifiable information. So there are tools out there that we can go over later in details, where you can connect, for example, your Google Drive, or connect your OneDrive or your local machine, and then pass that PDFs, transform those PDFs into text, and mask that information. And then you're able to feed that information to LLM. You ask the questions, and then you can talk to the data or interact with the data without the person, because they don't care about it. It's not valuable for the company to do that, unless you want to do a research or something like this, but it doesn't make much sense. So for LLM, doesn't make any sense for having your data. So if you take that step of masking your data before putting there, then it's safe. That's the safest way. If you just put it as it is, it stores theirs, and for how long are they going to keep that data? And what's going to prevent for some hacker going to be able to go there and expose their data? We don't have access. We have a leakage of hackers were able to invade with ClawBot, OpenClaw. I'm not sure if you guys know. It is pretty much the live agents that live in your computer and able to do actions for you on your computer. And this ClawBot was able to hack into those DJI vacuum cleaners and be able to find 6,000 DJI vacuum cleaners and access the cameras and access a lot of things. So it's AI hacking their own ecosystem right now. So we need to be very careful with Enrique was saying. No, you were saying about we need to read things, and we need to be very careful who are buying hardware from that have AI, and what kind of tools are using. Make sure, like, we always need to be very careful right now. But again, don't make this move forward with your research. Just be careful.
Can they download models to their computer, and so that all of the data is just on their hard drive?
Yes, that's a good point. We have models, or Llama models, local models. They consume some significant amount of RAM. So I use local models on my machine, and so you can pretty much interact with the local models without any external connection. So for example, if you're gonna use ChatGPT, it's gonna take like 3-4 seconds to reply to you. Local models might take 30 to 60 seconds, but you don't need to have that interaction with the masking the data. That's a good point, yeah. So you can run local models very easily. Again, YouTube University is there to help you.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up. If you have any other questions, they're going to be around for a little while, so feel free to go up to them. They're very open, and they're all my friends, so feel free to reach out to them. And we will start with the workshop right now. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.